Alright, so we're going to be drawing this guy, problem 8-17 in Onshape. So I'll just start by making a new Onshape document. This will be 8-17. And I'm going to do this in 3 extrusions. I'm going to start the first extrusion here. This is the most complicated one. And I'm going to be doing this based on the front view, which is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So looking up at that box, I've got an 8 by 2 section. If I'm looking at it here, so here it is. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's an 8 by 1, 2 section. So that's the part I drew. The next step is I'm going to draw a circle with a 3-inch diameter. So here's my circle, and the diameter, if you look across the middle, is 1, 2, 3. So that's my 3-inch diameter. And it's going to be centered 1.5 up and 1.5 over from the edge. So when I go to dimension this, it's going to be 1.5 up, and it's going to be 1.5 over. I'm then going to take the line tool, and I'm going to grab onto the side of the circle and go straight down. And I'm going to do that on the other side as well. I'm going to go straight down. These lines should both be vertical, so making sure they're vertical with a vertical constraint. And these lines should be 3 inches apart. So I'm going to dimension them, make sure that they are 3 inches apart, which they are, so that's good. Upon getting that, I can go in and I can trim the bottom of this circle out. So I use the trim tool for that. Oops, took out the top line. So I trimmed out the bottom of the circle, and now I have like a dome. And I am going to draw a circle in the middle. And actually, to figure out the dimension of this circle in the middle is kind of tricky. So it's not to any specific point, but it is hitting the corner of each of those squares. So I can actually kind of cheat, and I can draw this 1 by 1 square and then draw the circle based on that. So to kind of figure out the dimensions of this circle, I'm going to use a center point rectangle and make a 1 by 1 rectangle. And then I can make this circle and just drag it out till it hits one of the corners of the rectangle. And that will give me the dimension required for the circle. I can go in and delete the sacrificial rectangle here. And there we go. And the dimension of the circle is like 1.4 something. 1.414214. So that is there. The next thing I have to do, if I'm looking at this, is add this fillet here. So this fillet's got a radius of 1 whole block. It looks like if we kept going, it would go to 2 blocks and would make a circle here. So we got a fillet of 1 whole block. So I'm going to go in here. I'm going to use the sketch fillet. I could do this later, but I'm going to do it now. And between here and here is going to have a radius of 1. So that's good. Hit enter. And we've got our fillet in there. And that's all I can do for this front sketch, so I'm going to hit finish sketch. I've already counted out how far I wish to extrude this. I wish to extrude it 4 inches, so I just want this section, leave the circle out, and it's going to extrude 4 inches. Like so. Very good. The next part, I'm going to cut out the triangle portion here. So I'm going to cut this triangle portion out. And the triangle portion is 1 from this edge and 5 from this back edge. So that's where I'm getting my dimensions from. So if I'm going to go to sketch, grab that top edge there, and I'm going to be sketching from here to here, and then just close it up so it is a closed rectangle I can extrude later. And I will be dimensioning from here to here is 1 inch. Very good. And from here to the back corner is 5. Upon completing that, I can go back to my isometric view. It selects it automatically for me. If it didn't, grab it, and then I'm going to remove to a distance of through all. So there we go. The last section I got to do is I got to cut this ridge out. I'm going to do that on the back face. So I'm going to select the back face. I'm going to draw a corner rectangle like so. And if we look at our shape, it is 2 wide and it starts at the top of this shape that was the rectangle at the beginning. So it starts 2 from the bottom and it is 1 from each edge. So this is unimportant right now. I want this to be 2. I want it to be 1 from one of the edges, which will take care of how far it is from the other edge. And I want it to be 2 from the bottom. So it's 2 from the bottom now. And as long as it's extending over the top edge, you're good. If for some reason it was below the top edge like that, you can just grab it and drag it above. As long as it's above that top edge, it'll do what we want it to do. So I am going to go to finish sketch and I'm going to extrude. I'm going to grab both sections. I'm going to hit remove and I'm going to tell it to remove through all. Upon doing so, we are all set with this shape and it should look relatively similar to that shape. So that is how you draw 817.